Hey, what's up, guys? This is Bobby. This is episode 2 of Tales from the Dollar Box.
Get down! I'm calling us that! We are Venom now! You're still part of the team. You're still one of the X-Men. You'll have to do better than that, Wildcat. Okay.
So over the weekend, I went to Charlotte Comic-Con in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's at the same place that Mad Monster Party is, a horror convention I go to fairly often, but this is the first time that I went to a comic convention there, so I was pretty stoked. The only person I really knew there was my friend Jacob, who I had mentioned in other episodes. Owns Time Tunnel Comics, my local comic shop.
My mom got me into comics to help me learn how to read.
So I popped in, seen him, and I got to work digging dollar books. I got a lot of dollar books. There was a lot of people there. It was really hard to dig. I had to wait in line a lot of times, so I didn't get as much as I wanted, but I got well over half a long box. We're looking at 150 comics maybe, and there's some good ones in here, especially ones that I really wanted when it comes to gimmick covers, really cool 90s stuff I didn't know existed. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So Charlotte Comic Con was a success, and I think you guys will agree after we go through this haul. Alright guys, I definitely want to take a moment and shout out all of our comic sponsors. We had the most sponsors of the show so far. I know it's only episode 2, but the jump in the amount from 2 to 1 was really cool. So thank you guys so much. I want to shout you guys out. Jody Dixon donated and sponsored 20 comic books of this haul. Jody was one of my high school teachers, so thank you so much for supporting, man. Dom Cacaro of Random Reviews and one of my buddies donated 5 books. You should check out his reviews at rrincorporated.blogspot.com. RJ Smith donated 7 books. Thank you, dude. He sponsored 7 books, I might say. Josh Oglesby, thank you, man, for sponsoring 5 books. We've got Matt Gagney, my buddy, sponsoring 5 books. Tyree Hoffman sponsored 5 books. Tyree is an avid disc golf player and is part of the team, the Frisbee Fellas. If you're into disc golf or want to follow the Frisbee Fellas, check them out on all socials at the Frisbee Fellas. Or I'm sorry, at Frisbee Fellas on all socials. Ivan Beza of Low Budget Toys and Collectibles on eBay sponsored 5 books. Thank you, buddy. Brady Daly, 5 books sponsored. Thanks, man. And I don't know how to say your last name, so I'm going to say Garrett Lubau or Garrett Lubeau. If either one of those right, tell me, or at least give me props for trying. But donated 5 books. Thank you. Guys, we had 62 books in all sponsored this week, or this episode, and man, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I hope some of the books I got like sparked a memory or looked cool, or you got some kind of enjoyment from this. First one we got, very cool gimmick cover. Very cool gimmick cover. It is Eclipso #1. It's one that I've wanted since I knew it existed. There's a little diamond jewel thingy right in his eye. It's like plastic. A lot of times those will come off from the glue and they're not on there, but this one's on there. Pretty cool. So Dollar Bin Find gimmick cover, Eclipso #1 from DC. Next up, we've got Green Lantern Annual 2 Bloodlines Outbreak. Nothing significant about this, and when I went back through the books to just get them in order and organized, I don't know why I picked it up. Cool artwork. Bloodlines is super 90s. Yeah, there it is, Bloodlines. And then we've got Justice League. What is it? Justice League America. Number, what is that? 0? We got number 0. Really cool artwork. It was the beginning of a 90s run. 01. I'll usually try to grab them, so that's why I grabbed that one. Next, we've got Justice League Task Force 0. Same thing. We've got Justice League Task Force first issue. Another 90s one. I was hitting all these 90s Justice Leagues, and they were like 1 and 0, so I was trying to grab them. Why I got this one. Next, Teen Titans #1. I don't think there's anything special about this one. No. There is a key somewhere coming up there. There's another Teen Titans. So I found out these two are the same book, I guess, and they just had multiple variants of member covers. Next, I got another Titans book, but this one is Titans Sell Out #1. Looks pretty cool. Looks like you got like a Doom guy on there, and I don't know my DC too well. I'm not well versed on DC. I've never been a big DC guy, trying to get into it more, but that guy might be somebody. I don't know, but reminded me of Doom. Alright, next I found that in the dollar box. Thought that was pretty cool. It's the DC Comics Presents Annual #2, and it's the first appearance here of Superwoman Kristen Wells. Superwoman Kristen Wells. Next, I got just a cool cover for the Reign of the Superman run that I'm trying to slowly put together. It's not a priority, but grab that one. Same thing with this, Reign of the Superman run. We've got number 82 of Superman, and this is in the poly bag with the poster still sealed. Next up, we've got The Adventures of Superman number 500. Another one of the Death of Superman, Reign of the Superman run. Cool gimmick cover right here. We've got Robin number 2, Joker's Wild number 1 with the cool hologram cover. Hope you guys can pick that up and see that. Really cool in there. And then sticking with some DC, I've got The Demon number 1. I remember hearing about this when I was a kid, seeing it and stuff, but not being a huge DC guy, I didn't get into it, so looking forward to that one. Then we've got DC The Ray. It's got a cool gimmick cover. It's slightly embossed, not super raised, but a little bit, and like a shiny number 1, The Ray. Got it because it's a gimmick. I have no idea who The Ray is. Next, a really cool DC, Sword of the Atom number 1. I like shrinking things like Ant-Man, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, stuff like that, and I think the Atom is kind of like that. It's got a cool cover with riding a frog, fighting a snake, that kind of thing. Deadman number 1, DC. Never been a Deadman guy. Need to check it out. I want to, so here's my opportunity. Really cool in here. It's a second printing, but we've got Deathstroke the Terminator number 1. Deathstroke's awesome. Like I said many times, I don't know much about DC, but I know Deathstroke, and he's cool. So it was cool to get that. Like I said, the second printing of that. All right, we're going to actually... Hold up. All right, that's the DC ones I got, I believe. So we're going to jump into the independent, or I guess this is just Image. So first Image, really cool gimmick cover. We've got Shaman's Tears number 1. Really cool embossed, shiny gimmick cover. This I'd never even heard of. Image Night Watchman number 1. Then we've got, of course, Rob Liefeld's Youngblood number 1. Surprised I didn't have that already. Brigade number 1. Who did Brigade? Okay, so yeah, Rob Liefeld again for Brigade. We've got Prophet number 1. Really cool, shiny. No emboss, just a real shiny. Let's see. Next, we've got another Image here. We've got, let's switch these out. We've got Tribe, really cool embossed gimmick cover. Next, we've got a really cool one I'm looking forward to, Splitting Image. What's it say? Egos, Greed, Gimmicks. I haven't even skimmed through it. I'm assuming it's just kind of like a place to show artwork, previews, stuff like that, but we'll see. Next, I got a bunch of Shadowhawks. So I got The Return of Shadowhawk number 1. I got Shadowhawks, which is Jim Valentino's Shadowhawks. Then we've got the Shadowhawk number 1, or sorry, number 2 Shadowhawk, number 3 Shadowhawk. We've got the new Shadowhawks number 1. Pretty cool cover there. Kind of looks like a Batman Wolverine mix. Never, followed him too much. This is a really cool gimmick cover for Shadowhawk 2 number 1. A really nice shiny, back second page that the cover is die cut and kind of makes it look like a shiny armor. Pretty cool. Let's see. The last Shadowhawk I got was Shadowhawk 3. Really nice looking cover. No emboss or anything. A little bit of foil at the top, but nothing too crazy. Next, that's all the Darkhawks, by the way. Next one, really cool one. We've got Savage Dragon versus the Savage Megaton Man. I don't know anything about Megaton Man, but I know Savage Dragon, so I grabbed it. Let's see. Next, I've got a stack of these. I got a few of them because it is a key. A slight key, but a key. Let's see. This is the end of the Image books, but I bought 4 of these darker Image. 3 of them are still sold in the bag with the card. Let's see. The cards have... So it's darker Image. I'll let you take a look there. The first one and the second one here each have a Blood Wolf card in each one. But this one was pretty cool, I thought. This one came with the Max card, if you can see that. But yeah, darker Image. So the reason I bought all 4 of these, It's got the first appearance of Blood Wolf and the first appearance of Death Blow. So probably never really going to be worth anything, but they were in there. I grabbed them, so one of these will probably end up being a giveaway at some point. All right, next we got into the Marvel. So Marvel, what's cool about this is I found Damage Control #1, but I also found the full 404 series. Let's see, we've got Damage Control issue 4 of 4, issue 3 of 3, issue 2 of 2, with a cool Doom cover there, and then the first issue of Damage Control. Pretty neat. Pretty stoked to find all 4 of those. Alright, next up, we're going to have a pretty big, quick run of 2099 Punisher. I found a lot, so I'll go through them quick because none of them are really keys. So 11 or 13, 14, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, number 9. Let's grab some more out of here. Number 12, number 11, number 10, number 21, number 20, number 18, number 17, number 16, number 15. That's pretty cool. Kind of looks like Freddy Krueger there. Number 27, number 24, number 19, number 2, number 23, number 22, and number 1. I know I've got a duplicate of number 1 already. I probably got some duplicates of these other ones, but I just grabbed the whole run real quick because I'm trying to knock out those 2099. Staying in the Punisher family, we've got the Punisher Annual number 4 there. There's no key or anything, but it's cool. It's got Cap, Daredevil, Punisher on the front, so I grabbed it. Let's see. We've got another Punisher. Punisher Warzone Annual 1. It does have a tear there, but other than that, I like the cover. I like the colors, and it's a pretty thick book. What, 64 page, so looking forward to checking that out. And I believe we've got one more Punisher. Yeah, so we've got Punisher Warzone number 1. Really cool die cut cover. Has a little window that opens up to another image. Pretty stoked about that. I grew up liking the Punisher, but not really collecting a lot of the books, just a few here and there. So I'd really like to start reading those from the first. Let's see, and this isn't Punisher, but it's somewhat Punisher related. I found this book 1 of 4 of Shadow Masters. It says the origin of the mysterious ninjas seen in the pages of the Punisher titles. So looking forward to checking that out. Looks pretty cool, and yeah, it's almost like a graphic novel, really. All right, next up, I don't know anything about this, but it looks cool. Had great artwork. Marvel Secret Empire number 1. Really awesome cover all over, dude. It looks really cool. I like the Cap and the Red Skull mashup, or Red Skull mashup. Looks really cool. All right, these I found. I've never seen these before, but these are they're like Giant Edition comics, but they're almost graphic novels. First one is Tales of Suspense, featuring Captain America and Iron Man. They have a really neat, like, protective, like, clear with the logo, and then you can see the full artwork. Really neat. The next one I found was Tales to Astonish, featuring Hulk, Wasp, and Hank Pym. Really cool. They look like newer stories, too, featuring these characters. And then the third one, Strange Tales, featuring The Thing, Doctor Strange, and Human Torch. Really cool artwork. Love it. This is part of the Marvel Select line. Grabbed all 3. Pretty cool. Alright, the only Ghost Rider comic I got, which was Ghost Rider number 20. I just grabbed it because the artwork's cool, and a lot of times I grab books because of that reason. Because of the cool artwork. Next up, pretty cool. I was hoping I'd find the first one, but I didn't. But the 4-issue limited series of the Human Torch. What is it? The Saga of the Human Torch. I found 4 of 4. I found 3 of 4. I found 2 of 4. I did not find number 1. I was hoping I would, but I did not. But eventually, I just need part 1. All right, super 90s gimmick cover right here, man. I was so stoked to show you guys this. You know that one, I'm sure. You got Night Thrasher. First kick butt issue that says there. And you got a really nice red foil on his armor, on the title, around like a border. Really cool. Love that book a lot. This one's pretty cool. Super 90s. If you grew up in the 90s, you know Skeleton Warriors. Skeleton Warriors number 4. It's the only Skeleton Warriors I found, but I'll grab any Skeleton Warriors. Another short-lived cartoon, I believe, Fish Police. Fish Police number 3. It's crazy and wacky, so I grabbed it. Wacky 90s right here. We've got Thunderstrike. First explosive issue. Really cool, like, gimmicky cover there with the foil and the glitter. Really nice. All right, cool. We've got another gimmick cover here that I've never seen before. So, this is Forceworks Killer First Issue. So, I'm going to try to find a picture of this coming together because I'm nervous I'm going to tear it up if I do it. So, if you guys can see, there's slits on each side here. And I believe this pulls up and attaches to this wraparound cover. Somehow, it makes it kind of like a pop-up book, if you can tell. But I'll try to find a picture and show you. What's cool about this is its first team appearance of Forceworks, which is Spider-Woman, Wonder Man, Iron Man, Scarlet Witch, U.S. Agent, and first appearance of the century. So, a number 1, a 90s, a gimmick cover, and first appearances, man. That's what I dig in the dollar boxes for.
That's what I'm talking about.
This is 80s, but I couldn't leave this in the dollar box. We got Willow issue 1 of a 3-issue limited series. It's trashed, guys. Like, this is a reader copy. But I grew up on Willow, man, and had to grab it. So there it is, little Warwick Davis there.
Sweetie, it's me. It's me.
Willow. All right, really cool. I've been picking up a lot of these Marvel UK books. This is a comic called Genetics, part of the Marvel UK line, number 1. Includes 4 gene cards, and they are in there. They're all in there. So, pretty cool. Kind of looks like, you know, generic 90s superheroes, but you got Death's Head in there, which is another Marvel UK book. Pretty cool. Next up, we've got something I'd never heard of before. Marvel 90s Shadow Riders Fantastic First Issue. It's got Cable, an all-out action against Cable, so an all-new team. I don't know anything about it, but Shadow Riders got a cool little embossed cover there. Pretty neat. Do you guys know anything about that? Next up, I never read this, but Micronauts, first issue, 1979. It's an annual, number 1. Looking forward to checking that out because I think they hinted, and like there were characters from the Micronauts or something in the new Ant-Man. I don't know. Maybe you guys know something I don't know, or maybe I'm getting it mixed up, but I believe maybe. Here's the quintessential 90s right here. Iron Man, you've got the gold 30th anniversary issue. Really cool. Only first appearance or any notability for this is it's the debut of Iron Man's, telepresence armor. So I don't know anything about that, but when I think 90s Iron Man, I think of the 90s cartoon. And nobody really liked Iron Man, including myself. But now I want to go back because it's kind of cool. You know? Alright. Next up, we've got Star Masters. Never heard of it, but it's Marvel Universe Star Masters. Looked pretty cool because you got Beta Ray Bill and stuff. And apparently, it's the first team up of the Star Masters, which is Beta Ray Bill, Silver Surfer, and Quasar. So, looks cool. Super 90s. Stoked to check it out. What is it? Looks like 1995. December. Alright, next up, I'm going for a run of Cable, and I couldn't remember if I had the first issue or not, so I did grab it. Embossed cover, Cable and X-Force especially is 90s to me, and I grab it every time. I love Cable as a character. Let's see. I picked up a few for a little Deathlock run I'm going to try to put together. Nothing notable. I don't think. Nothing crazy. No. Nothing crazy. So you got Deathlock 8, Deathlock 14, Deathlock 23, and Deathlock 24. So nothing notable, but something towards the run. I needed this. If you saw my last episode, I picked up 1 and 4 of the X-Men Pizza Hut comics. I found 3. I just need number 2 to finish this run. Pretty cool. I mean, what's more the 90s than Jim Lee, X-Men, and Pizza Hut? You know, it's crazy.
A powerful force has come to Pizza Hut. Marvel Comics X-Men. For $2.99, you can get a personal pan pizza X-Men cup and one of 4 all-new exclusive edition X-Men comic books. You won't get this X-Men experience anywhere else. No doubt about it.
I only found 1 Darkhawk for the run. We've got Darkhawk number 20, guest starring Spider-Man, and also starring Sleepwalker, one of my favorites. Alright, next we've got a cool Uncanny X-Men. It's pretty neat because it does have a little bit of the foil gimmick cover there. It's Uncanny X-Men 317. What's cool about this is the first appearance of Blink and the first appearance of Skin. I believe Skin, this guy, goes on to be in Generation X, which might have been around this time. I don't know. It's an X-Men event, so maybe. But pretty cool book. Next up, one of my favorites, actually, being a animated series of X-Men animated series fan and X-Men 97 coming back, it was really cool to find this in the dollar box. We've got Uncanny X-Men Annual 17, first appearance of the Executioner, and he is someone that kills mutants. He's a mutant hunter, and he was in X-Men 97. Right off the first 2-episode premiere, he was in there. So pretty cool first appearance of the Executioner, a mutant hunter, and also the first appearance of Shard, which is Bishop's sister, right there. So really cool artwork. Love the artwork on the Executioner there. I love where walks the Executioner. Pretty cool. I like when first appearances do that. They have the character on the front and it has their name on the front. Like, it's just really neat. Next I got X-Force Magazine number 1. So I grabbed it because I like X-Force. But what I didn't realize is it's pretty thick. But what I didn't realize is it's the first reprint of New Mutants 98, which is the first Deadpool. It's a reprint of New Mutants 99 and 100, and it also has a very low print run. So it's X-Force issues 98, 99, and 100 all in this issue. So pretty neat. Next up, we've got... right here, we've got number 1, X-Men and Alpha Flight, one of a 2-issue limited series. I'm going to be looking out for number 2. What's significant about this is it's the first team appearance of Those Who Sit Above in Shadow, which is a pantheon of shadow gods. So pretty cool. Alpha Flight is criminally underrated. Alpha Flight rules. And if you haven't checked out Alpha Flight, you should check them out. Next, I don't get a lot of Incredible Hulks, but I love the Incredible Hulk cover, which is Incredible Hulk versus Werewolf by Night. Really cool Gray Hulk and Werewolf by Night. Really neat. Nothing crazy, like, special about it, but cool cover. Alright. Next up, we've got something Ivan Beza has told me I need to look into is Age of Apocalypse. This is like a... kind of like a graphic novel, I guess, but not as big. But it's Tales from the Age of Apocalypse. Really cool cover there. And, yeah, it's a direct edition. It's pretty much like a graphic novel that tells stories from that. So looking forward to checking that out. Let's see. 90s as heck right here. You got Strife's Strike File, which is Strife was a really cool villain in the 90s that I really dug a lot. And if you guys remember the Executioner song, they would send out the poly bags for the stories and they'd have a trading card in the back. This is the guy, you know, kind of behind that whole thing. Yeah, pretty cool. Strife's Strike Files. I only picked up 1 for the X-Men 2099 run, which is number 14. Nothing crazy, I believe, significant on that one. But you guys know I'm going for that run. So next one's pretty cool. I got this one right here, Spider-Man Hobgoblin Lives, number 1 from January 97. Really cool. Apparently it's one of 3 issues in the story. I looked around a little bit more and I ended up finding issue 2 of Spider-Man Hobgoblin Lives. And the final issue, really cool artwork on that one. Spider-Man Hobgoblin Lives number 3 of 3. I was pretty stoked to find that. I didn't think I'd find the whole run of that, but never read that, never even heard of it. But Hobgoblin's cool. I recently have been picking up some Guardians of the Galaxy books from the 90s, which I never did before. I was able to get Guardians of the Galaxy number 17, which is looks like first issue of a brand new era. I don't know if it's a new team or what. My key app didn't really show anything significant about that issue, so I don't know. But I found issue 55 as well, which, if you see right there, meet Ripjack, the interplanetary serial killer. Yeah, serial killer. This is the first appearance of Ripjack, the aforementioned interplanetary serial killer. So pretty cool. Guardians of the Galaxy 55. The last Guardians of the Galaxy I got has no key significance. I just grabbed it because it says introducing Cuchulainn, the Irish Wolfhound, but the key app didn't show it being a first appearance of this guy or anything. So maybe it is, and he's just very lesser known. But I did go ahead and grab Guardians of the Galaxy Annual 3. So pretty cool there. I think that's my last Marvel find. I found some really cool top stuff that we're going to get into next, and some bizarre stuff. So we got Mars Attacks and the Savage Dragon 104 from Topps. Wacky, cool looking X-Files, thing. This apparently was originally in a poly bag. No, I don't think it might not have been. So what's cool is I can fill them inside. The Mars Attacks cards inside. You know what? Let's open it up. Yeah, there they are. Alright, so if you guys can see that, it is a sealed bag there with the cards in the middle. And there's what they look like. Hopefully you guys can see it. I think it's just one big card. But pretty cool. So I don't know if that originally came in a poly bag or what. I kind of think maybe not, since the cards are on the inside. So pretty neat. Sticking with Topps, I got episode 1 of 3 of Satan 6 Hellspawn. I don't know anything about this whatsoever. Yeah, I have no idea what that is. But Satan 6 Hellspawn. And then sticking with Topps again, we've got Ray Bradbury Comics number 1. Ray Bradbury is kind of in that whole sci-fi horror vein as like Twilight Zone, and I think he had a show back in the day, like an anthology nightly show or something like that. So
This is
just crazy, bizarre, spooky sometimes, outlandish stories. Pretty cool. Oh, I didn't notice that till just now. Apparently maybe it wasn't a poly bag at one point and had the trading cards, but somebody actually put the trading cards in there. So pretty neat. I love trading cards. Give me all the trading cards. Here's Topps again. I never in my life thought I'd get a Zorro comic book. But here we are with Zorro Zero Topps. I grabbed it because of Topps. I'm really going to try to get into Topps. And this is why. Cool stuff like this. Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, 1 of 3.
A world of Cadillacs and dinosaurs.
Really cool. I think there's several Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, like sub comics. This one is 1 of 3, and it's Maneater, I believe, is what this one's called. So looks pretty cool. And then we've got Topps. It's our last Topps comic, Mars Attacks High School. It looks like it takes from Total Recall with the 3 boobs.
But Mary here, she's free.
Well, not free, honey, but available.
Thanks.
All right, next up we've got one I've never seen before. Valiant presents The Visitor, number 1. Looks like really cool artwork. I'm not sure who did the artwork or anything. I didn't recognize the name, but it looks pretty cool. It's The Visitor, number 1 from Valiant. Next up we've got Malibu Comics Bruce Lee, number 1. I was stoked when I seen Bruce Lee. The art looks cool. It's 90s Malibu, plus it's got an exclusive Mortal Kombat preview, so I had to snag that. Someone talked about this, so I grabbed it when I seen it. Turok Dinosaur Hunter from Valiant, number 1. Really cool, embossed, shiny cover there. If you were a kid of the 90s, you probably played Turok on Nintendo 64 like me.
Turok, Dinosaur Hunter.
Had to grab that one. Alright, next is one I've never seen before. It's called Cyber Rad. Continuity Comics. Really cool #1 issue with the hologram there. It might be a horrible book, but I grabbed it because of the gimmick cover. Next up, we've got a 90s movie here. If you remember Pamela Anderson Lee, Barbed Wire, the movie.
Don't call me babe.
This is the comic adaptation of the movie from Dark Horse Comics. Next, we've got two popular characters, Image's Grifter and The Mask.
Ooh, somebody stop me!
Courtesy of Dark Horse Comics, #1. So, very odd pairing there. Next up, we've got another movie here, Time Cop. You guys probably remember the movie from the 90s with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Me and my buddy used to stay up all night watching this movie over and over. So, comic adaptation, 1 of 2, and pretty neat. Next up, another movie. We've got the 90s movie, Star Kid. This is the exciting prequel to the sci-fi adventure film Star Kid.
Star Kid.
There's a new kid in town. Ow!
And yeah, it's just a one-shot from the movie Star Kid. A prequel. So, kind of neat. Have to check that out. And then we've got Malibu Comics, Rune and the Silver Surfer. I'm assuming Rune is a Malibu Comics character because you know Silver Surfer's Marvel. So I don't know how that worked out. But #1, 48 pages. I don't know who Rune is, but part of the Ultraverse. Next, we've got another one. I don't know what it is. We've got the Mighty Magnor #1 from Malibu. Reason I got it, first time ever in comics, pop-out cover. I think it pops out like one of those 3D pop-out books or something. I'm going to see if I can find a video and show you guys. If not, I'll open this up and pop it up. Then we've got Bloodshot, #0 from Valiant. They made a movie of Bloodshot with Vin Diesel in it. I've never seen it. Probably won't watch it. But went ahead and grabbed the shiny Valiant cover. The writing's on the bag, and the bag is super dirty, but the book looks pretty good. Bloodshot #1, or #0, sorry, #0. Then we've got Valiant #25 of Magnus Robot Fighter. I don't know anything about Magnus. Maybe read the first issue when I was a kid, but grabbed it because of the silver embossed cover. Really neat gimmick cover. And the final one is one I've never heard of from Epic Comics called Spike. Heavy Hitters Spike. Grabbed it because of the really cool variant gimmick cover here with like a portal, and everybody out here is kind of like a shiny silver, and in here is like, you know, regular artwork, but looked pretty cool. Decided to grab it. That was the last find of the day. Yeah, I hope you guys dug the haul. I had a great time picking it. I wish I would have had more time, but hey, next time we're going to get even more books. But let's take a break for a moment and head on over to the Collector's Corner and talk to my friend Craig Morrow. See why he likes dollar books.
My name's Craig Morrow. I'm a personal chef from Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm going to tell you why I love dollar boxes. A book that I don't see as often as I once did in dollar boxes, but if you ever see it in one, you should totally grab it, is this little number right here. This is Hearts of Darkness, and this was a book that John Romita did these absolutely ridiculously beautiful, that thing that he does. And Punisher, Ghost Rider, and Wolverine versus Blackheart. Son of Mephisto shows up in a town raising all sorts of cane, and the three most 90s characters in the whole world, minus Cable, have been sent to take him down. Absolutely ludicrous book. Love it. If you ever see it out in the world, you should pick that up. My favorite thing about dollar boxes is that camaraderie that comes with running into the only other person that you've met that knows the comic book that you've been reading since you were 9 years old. When you run into a person that has a niche affection for continuity comics or, you know, the old kitchen sink press stuff, those people aren't very common. You're more likely you're going to see a guy walking around in a Spider-Man shirt, or you're going to see, you know, a girl walking around, you know, wearing a Batman shirt or what have you. It's very rare that you're going to run into somebody wearing a Badger shirt or a Crazy Man shirt. So when you see that guy at the dollar box, you probably want to talk to that guy. You know, I see all sorts of stuff out there that people overlook in dollar boxes, and it stuns me that they're still sitting there. One of those books, though, has to be this continuity book from probably 92, 93, if I remember correctly, called Megalith. And Megalith was the story of this kid who got really strong and really powerful just by working out a lot. And there's more to the story, sure, but you know, this guy could catch bullets in his muscles, he could jump really high, and he did it by doing stuff like, there's a scene in the book where there's a calf that's born, and so what he does is he takes inspiration from an old Greek story, and he picks up this calf every day until it's a full-grown bull, and by the end of that 3 to 4 year period from calf to adult, he's able to lift like 3,700 pounds over his head, that kind of stuff. And you know, when a 12-year-old boy reads that kind of thing, you know, you go out in your yard and you pick up cinder blocks for a couple of days, you know, that kind of thing. So anyways, if you see Megalith, consider it. You know, my favorite 90s comic, hands down, Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider, when I saw this cover as a young kid that wanted to grow up and draw comics and be involved in comics and motorcycles and flaming skulls, this cover absolutely blew me away. I grew up reading comic books that, you know, were passed down to me. And so the old Ghost Rider comics of the 70s and the 80s were these incredible horror-themed books, these great visuals and motorcycles. He was fighting demons and werewolves, and it was just a great book. And then this book comes out, and it's a new Ghost Rider. He's got an incredible new motorcycle. He's got all sorts of great new powers. He's got a leather jacket with spikes on the back and a chain, and his motorcycle is this big, long chopper that's equal parts Harley Davidson and Lamborghini Countach. And I mean, what's not to love about that? And it led into all sorts of great spin-offs from that era, and Ghost Rider, hands down. There's a lot of great stuff out there. But if you want to talk to me about 90s comics, we cannot talk about comics without talking about Ghost Rider. And the 90s had some of the best gimmicks that I've ever seen, and then they had some of the worst. One of the worst that I ever saw was a Fantastic Four cover that just, it was a white cover, it was white foil, it was embossed, and it was absolutely unreadable. You couldn't see anything on the cover. You could get the impressions vaguely from what was going on. If you held it up to the light, what an absolutely ludicrous idea. Still not my favorite, too. My favorite one of all time was Protectors number 5. This was a little-known book that Malibu put out. And it featured, spoilers, the death of Night Mask. And if you just see the cover of this book, you got to see it in person to really appreciate what's going on here. So first of all, what they did was they bore a hole all the way through this comic book from the front cover to the back cover. And it culminates in Night Mask being shot by the villain in this arc. And it is, it was $3 at the time. I could have bought 2 Marvel comics for that price. I could have bought 2 DC comics for that price. And I spent the money on this book that had a poly bag, and it had a trading card in it, and it had all sorts of stuff going on. But the whole through the middle of the book, ludicrous. My all-time favorite, though, and the one that I will talk about until the day that I die, is going to be Earth number 4, book number 3. And this was in this incredible little saga that they had going on called Death Watch 2000. And this had a Tyvek cover. Now, if you ever get a chance to handle this book, I just want you to try to tear it in half. That was the gimmick for this cover. It was a Tyvek indestructible cover. And Tyvek is that stuff that you put on the inside of houses to keep moisture out. And it's supposed to keep trees from punching through your insulation and all that other stuff. This was a new thing at the time. And so they put it absolutely everywhere. And so this comic was sitting on shelves for a ludicrous price at the time. I think it was, you know, $250, $295 and in 1990s money. And you see this comic book and it says that it's indestructible. And so you're thinking, well, I'm going to put this in a bag to protect it, but do I really need to? If you see this in the world, totally pick it up. It's well worth the handling. Book, I don't know. maybe the indestructible cover was to keep you out of the book. No disrespect, but there's a reason that no one's heard of this story. Anyways, thank you for joining me on my whirlwind tour of my just love of dollar boxes. Next time that you're at a big convention, I want you to spend some time trolling the dollar boxes. And if it's got a cover that you are grabbed by, buy as much of it as you can. Read them all and give them to your friends. Pass them around. They're meant to be shared with people. And yeah, y'all be good out there.
Thanks so much, Craig, for hanging out and telling us why you dig dollar boxes. Well, that's episode 2 of Tales from the Dollar Box. I had a great time digging. I hope you guys liked what I saw. I've really been thinking about getting a GoPro and maybe strapping it on so that when I go out to these digs, you guys can see the digs and kind of dig with me. Maybe you guys see stuff that I missed, you know, stuff like that. So if that's something that you guys would like to see, please let me know. Let me know any comments or anything about the books or anything you want to tell me in the comments. And don't forget, we have a giveaway going on till April 1st. All you got to do is go to the first episode. It tells details on how to enter. But you know what? I'm going to give you a hint. All you have to do is comment on Facebook or eBay on the first episode. You do that, you're entered to win the Gambit miniseries issue 1 through 4 that we talked about in the first episode. So, had a great time. Can't wait for the next one. Yeah, let's talk some comics. Hit me up in the comments and let me know what you guys thought. What was my best find? What was the coolest find? What was the craziest gimmick cover? What should I be looking out for? There's so many things that I want to talk to you guys about. So, hit up those comments. See you guys next time on Tales from the Dollar Box. Later, guys.